Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, the situation in Bakhmut and Kupiansk is not going very well for the Ukrainians, as is not going very well in Avdiivka. But hey, it seems like lately, which is in about in the past about the past week, the Ukrainians gave major signs that the front is collapsing. They are incapable of holding it across the entire front, from Kupiansk to Bakhmut to Marinka, Avdiivka, Zaporozhye, and in Kherson as well. A lot of how do you call it, mandatory evacuations. I remember the word now, evacuations. And that tells me that the Russians are breaking the front, they're breaking the lines of defense. Therefore, you evacuate your civilians because the Russians are coming. So we have an article from Ukrinform here, where the Ukrainians are going to give us an update on Bakhmut and Kupiansk and maybe somewhere else as well. The thing is, remember, this comes from the Ukrainians and you have to read between the lines in order to figure out what exactly these guys are saying and base your analysis on past events, recent past events. So let's get it started. Ukrinform. So from the 31st of October 2023. Enemy increases activity in Bakhmut sector, ground forces. What does that mean? They're advancing, my friends. Increases activity, or when they say is dynamic or it's tense, these are the words they use. Tense or dynamic, or, increased activity. That means we get fucked, unfortunately. Stop the war, my friends. Stop it. Russian occupiers continue to attack Ukrainian positions in the Kupiansk sector and have increased activity in the Bakhmut direction. So let's take a look over the map. And this is a Russian map. Kupiansk is right here in the east of Ukraine, which is in the north of the front. Here is Kupiansk, and Bakhmut is right here. Avdiivka is right here. I'm going to go and zoom on Kupiansk. Here is Kupiansk, and the Russians are advancing on this area. I'm going to move to Bakhmut, which the Russians call Artemovsk, and Artemovsk is right here. The Russians are advancing here, as you can tell, a little bulge over there. And then you go to the big problem of Avdiivka right here. All this is going to encircle Avdiivka, and this road will be cut off. So they will probably be encircled pretty soon. So let's go to the article. So Volodymyr Fizio, the spokesperson of the ground forces of the armed forces of Ukraine, said this during a nationwide news telethon, Ukrinform reports, and I'm quoting, "The situation in the area of responsibility of the eastern group of troops remains tense, but under control. The enemy continues to attack the Kupiansk direction," the one in the north of the front that I showed you. "They launch many artillery strikes, including 736 shelling attacks in the past day alone. They deploy MLRS, artillery, mortars. They used 16 kamikaze drones. There were 8 airstrikes. 2 attacks were repelled in this direction," Fizio noted. According to him, in the Bakhmut direction, the one Artemovsk, and I'm quoting, "The occupation forces are also very active." That's not good. 7 combat clashes, 2 airstrikes, 26 kamikaze drones were used against Ukrainian positions. Listen to this. 576 shelling attacks, of which 159 were from artillery and 288 from mortars. End quote. At the same time, Ukrainian defenders eliminated 112 Russian invaders in the Liman-Kupiansk direction and 123 more in the Bakhmut direction. As reported, defense forces of Ukraine repelled more than 45 Russian attacks in the past day. So who's in the offensive? The Russians. Well, I hope all this garbage ends and the Ukrainians and the Russians stop killing one another for other mercantile interests that have nothing to do with Ukraine. Unfortunately, we know why this garbage in Ukraine occurs is because Russia has to be kneeled, and the economic interests of Al Capone that actually control Al Capone must spread and control the rest of the world. Yes, that's about the hegemony controlling the world. Well, at least as the Americans, because we know the Americans are good. Look what they did in Yugoslavia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, Ukraine. Now is going to Middle East. So perfect. We want that Pax Americana. But how can you support this kind of thing? Anyway, my friends, what we can do, try to make it better, fair, just. But what's just? Life is not just. They tell us it is, but we set, supposedly we set laws and regulations and all that, and they're supposed to follow them and not violate them and so on, but these guys don't care. What are you gonna do? What can you do? Go and vote? Vote for whom? For some people brought forth for you to vote for? Look what kind of garbage of quality we have in the political arena. Those guys, do you think those guys would fight for you and I? You gotta be kidding me, my friends. Wake up, wake up. We live in a system which is they and us, or them and us. And not even them, the ones that we see is just a symptom. The guys behind them are the ones. The interest, my friends, who have the mass media, who have the intelligence community, the guns, right, the military, and the politicians to let us feel good that we are in control. We're not in control. We go and vote for whatever they give us. The guys that were pre-approved, kosher by those guys. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.